Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear the sound of my voice, that means you're tuned into the latest episode of the Casual Friday podcast on the Knicks Film School YouTube channel. You already know the vibes. Like this video if you love what you're hearing. Comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Send this to all your group chats, your favorite Knicks fans, your NBA fans. We got a goodie today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Get live, get ready, send all your questions and all your comments, and we got you covered this week. I got a very special guest, my guy, co-host of the It's in the Game podcast with my other dude, Randy J. Cruz. It's my man, Denny Blanco. Mr. Blanco, how you feeling, bro?
Jeff, thank you so much for inviting me onto the show. Our dreams have now been fulfilled. You're rocking with the best. It's your boys, Jeff and Denny Blanco. Lots to discuss. It's been a whirlwind weekend this past weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah. I love the NBA trade deadline because there's anything can happen. It's like WWE. Anything can happen in the NBA trade deadline. But if you told me that the NBA will get their lick back on the NFL for stepping on their corners on Christmas Day by completely shutting down a lot of chatter around Super Bowl week, I don't know how I would have felt. I said a lot of major things was going to have to happen. Boy, did a lot of major things happen. To the point where I'm just starting to hear a lot of NFL-related media stuff today. Like, you'd have to be tapped in to find it. Before, usually Super Bowl week, you're hearing a lot of stuff. You're getting all the sound bites and the clips. But I'm talking about, it was NBA this week, boy. It was all about the NBA and what they were doing. And we definitely going to talk about that, along with covering the NBA and all types of sports. My guy Denny be tapped into the Knicks as well, so you'll definitely get his unique perspective on the team and what they're doing. And let's start off with that, man. Let's start off with the Knicks. You've got excellent coverage on this channel around the trade deadline, what the Knicks were going to do. And the prevailing thought, Denny, was there wasn't really much to do. Like, you leave that window of opportunity. I call it, it's the new Doncic window, where there's a window of opportunity that anything possible could happen. So you got to leave the Doncic window open, because Leon Rose has pulled rabbits out of his hat before. But right now, it just looked like a normal card trick. It looked like a normal card trick. They sent Jericho Sims to Milwaukee for DeLon Wright, which was... And I know, shout out to Jonathan Macri, Dean of Knicks Film School. He said it. And I'm of this opinion, Denny, and you tell me what you think. This was more so we're going to take care of you, Sims. You're not getting run here. We're going to put you in a position where you could at least compete for run. And hopefully we get somebody back who can be an innings eater at the wing position and contribute in some way. Or, as the Knicks have done before, you are a contract for a later period that they can flip in the offseason, where we don't see the vision now, but the vision will come to fruition in the future. What did you think of the Knicks' one move this deadline?
Well, first and foremost, I was shout out to Randy J. Cruz, It's in the Game podcast, my co-host. He's a Knicks fan, and I want to see him happy often, right? So I try to have conversations with him coming up to the trade deadline. And I said, listen, you guys, more than likely, possibly, if you make a move, you may need a big, but if you don't, it's okay. Now you move, obviously, Sims, because Huck Porty is, how do you say, he is showing you something, okay? Huck Porty is showing you something. I forget what game most recently that I saw him play a lot of heavy minutes.
Raptors, probably.
Raptors. I was excited by what I saw. The movement, the rebounding, the defense. So obviously Sims, fell out the rotation. And then obviously Mitchell Robinson is coming back. So you have to obviously get an understanding of where those minutes are going to go. And
Denny, I think you're frozen up, brother. I think you're frozen up. I had to go to the YouTube to check and see that it wasn't me. He left us on a cliffhanger, ladies and gentlemen. while I have the YouTube playing as well. Yeah, Denny, if you can hear me, I'm gonna hit him on the side as well. Denny, you're frozen right now, bro. I think your internet betrayed you. Let me hit him up right now. Okay. All right. Well, he's dropped off. As Denny gets back on, let's go to the solo view. Up. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1.
Right back to it.
So Blanco's music.
There you go.
Blanco's
there you go. Right back to it. The Wi-Fi's Wi-Fi. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So last thing you spoke about was Huck Porty and the minutes and with Mitchell Robinson also returning.
Yeah. So just to land the plane on that, the concept is you had to try to obviously get Sims out of there, just like you said. And then you add Wright, who is a great defender, wing, and also can help you with the defending of your Jalen Browns, your Jason Tatums, your Donovan Mitchells, because that's what's going to happen if you're expecting to go far into the playoffs. I like the one pickup by the Knicks, and I like the non-movement because I like their current rotation. Now you bring in Mitchell Robinson to now I'm imagining the starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, possibly, you start Mitchell Robinson, right? You start him at the 5, possibly. You move Cat to the 4, possibly, because I'm looking at Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm looking at the Boston Celtics, and I see those bigs, and I see what those bigs can do. For you Knicks fans, shout out to Randy J. Cruz. I told him this the other day. I said, technically, your X factors are your bigs, because your guards can match up pretty well in terms of scoring, in terms of defense, in terms of energy. It's going to be your bigs. If your bigs can get out, kind of like Thompson on Cleveland, when Cleveland won the championship, he had to literally keep jumping out on Steph Curry. Defensive switches, those are going to be very key come down the line in the playoffs. What Huck Porty and Mitchell Robinson does for your Knicks. But I give you guys an A, because your team and rotation is brilliant right now.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that you think the bigs are the X factor. To me, it's the bench, because right now the bench is last in the league in scoring. We know the starting 5 was built to be a championship core 5. That's where they have the most sustainability. That's why they've played a lot of minutes up until this point. They are the core, that top 5, along with your Deuce McBrides and your Mitchell Robinsons. That's the solid 7. But that starting 5 is what is going to get you in the door and get you 3/4 of the way. The bench is what's going to be able to make a difference. Are they going to be able to hold leads? Are they going to be able to help you fight back and inject energy into the squad? We've seen that a few times. We saw it against the Rockets. We've seen it earlier in this season. There's been a couple of games where the bench has come in and provided a spark. That loss that they had against the T-Wolves, that was the campaign show. That was the campaign versus Rob Dillingham in the Rucker. When they just started, it was just them two on the court and everybody else was spectating. At one point, I was telling Chris Finch, yo, don't put Alexander Walker on Payne. Let Dillingham guard Payne. Like, give the people what they want. This is bench time right now. Give the people what they want. Right? Because Cam was going crazy. So that's why I say you have your campaigns, you have your Deuce McBrides, Landry Shamet. They still need one more wing. They still, in my opinion, they still need one more wing just to be able to supplement what Bridges and OG is doing.
Well, watch this. Knicks fans, I'm just hypothetically, don't kill me. Hypothetically, you start Mitchell, somebody has to go to the bench, right? Josh is starting. OG is starting. So let's say Josh goes to the bench. Okay, that solidifies your bench. You bring Josh off, you bring Deuce off, you bring Huck Porty off.
Right.
That kind of more than likely will solidify if Mitchell Robinson gets a month, 2 months in of conditioning and learning how to play in space with Cat, because Cat's going to need some space. You saw what Cat did with Gobert. Once Gobert realized to get the hell out the paint, I'm working here. You see what Cat can do. So I think that's your answer in terms of solidifying the bench. That's your answer right there.
Yeah. So my only pushback would be that they built this offense to be 5 out. And if you bring Robinson in, then you lose the peak powers of who Cat is when he plays at the 5. You lose those peak powers. Now, if he had a 4 next to him that could do those things that you need, outside shooting, those type of things, then I would say, all right, you're cooking. So, ideally, my one of my biggest agendas has been my Giannis agenda. Prior to Cat, I left the door open for possibly Giannis. And once again, we have the Doncic window, right? The Doncic window. Anything can happen. So there's no more crazy trades. There's nothing pie in the sky. Bring your photoshopped jerseys. Bring your 2K trades. It's all relevant at this point. It's all relevant, right? For example, if you had Giannis and Cat next to each other, that's doable because Giannis is going to dominate inside. He has enough of an offensive game that you cannot ignore him. And Cat can feast from the outside, and they both can rebound. So while Mitch, I think you are going to see lineups with Mitch and Cat, kind of like how you see Precious and Cat, and they've been running Huck Porty Cat lineups probably in preparation for when Mitch returns. You have seen that. I don't think you're going to start with that, though, because then you lose the maximum ability and the ceiling that Cat could have as a 5. But I'm not completely blowing up what you're saying. I'm just saying for the way the team is currently constructed, I don't know if that's maximizing the talent.
Well, that's the question of, see, when you say see, that's where I want to get you, Jeff. That's where I want to get you now. See, there you go. Maximizing the talent or matchup situations, right? I'm looking at Cleveland. And I'm looking at Cleveland and I'm looking at Boston. Now let's start with Cleveland.
Yep.
Mobley and Jared Allen. They're starting. Okay. So in my head, I'm like, well, if you're going to start this current 5 with OG at the 4, hypothetically, I don't think that's an advantage. You need another big to fight with Mobley and Jared Allen, because Jared, obviously, Cat's going to be Cat, more than likely they'll put Jared Allen on Cat, and Cat's gonna go to work. But that Mobley guy, you need somebody to put some body on him. And who else to do that? Now you move over to Boston, because I'm mentioning only these 2 teams that I think will be able to take you out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Those are the only 2 teams I think he's gonna be able to take you out. I look at Boston and I saw that they had Chris Stapps, not even Al Horford. Forget Al Horford. They had Chris Stapps, and what was the other big they had? They had a Cornette.
Luke Cornette, yeah. He's not starting though, but no, I feel you.
But the minutes when I saw them together, I'm like, okay. So when you match up, and obviously it's a 7-game series, things are going to change. Things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking at where it comes to, okay, do you start Mitchell with Cat, even though Mitchell is offensively limited? He can't shoot. He really can't pass, but he can defend like hell and he can rebound. So I'm asking myself, is that the answer for Boston or Cleveland? We're about to find out for sure.
Right.
But also Coach Tibbs, don't be afraid to change up game after game. Please, baby Jesus. You don't have to do a strategy for 4 games straight now. You can change up. I suggest doing so because that little guy over in Boston, the coach, Mazzulla will literally change. He will change a strategy in a quarter. Not a game, not the next game. If it's not working, he'll be like, all right, scrap it. Go this way. Just for the win. So I'm hoping you Knicks fans see that you have something, but understand it has to be a strategy when it comes to Cleveland and Boston.
Casual Friday Live, Denny Blanco, Jeff J, and you tapped into another episode talking about the Knicks and the trade deadline and what it means for the rest of the season. So let's talk about Cleveland because they made a fantastic trade, in my opinion, where they acquired DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks for Karis LeVert, George Niang, picks and swaps and all that good stuff. To your prior example, right? Your prior example, your situational example about whether or not you sub in Mitch for one of the wings, whether it's, well, it would be Hart, but Mitch for Hart, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, depending on how Kenny Atkinson wants to create his starting five, you're looking at a starting lineup of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter. Because I know at some point, playoff-wise, whatever, you're going to see it. Yeah. Hunter, Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen. So if you start Mitch Rob, that means by default he'd have to guard Jared Allen. You'd have Cat on Mobley, and then OG Brunson and Bridges.
You got to put OG
right?
on Mitchell.
Okay, OG on Mitchell, which might be a beast for 48 minutes just because Mitchell is smaller than him. He's a little quicker. OG can D up the 3 and 4 spot, 3, 4, 5 well, and some twos. It's the smaller ones that he's not really all the way built for one-on-one play, right? So now I'm thinking about it now. If you stick with the original lineup, Cat will guard Jared Allen. OG would more than likely guard Mobley. Bridges is probably on Garland.
Garland? Okay.
The quicker one, whoever the quicker one
Brunson,
is.
Then you put Brunson on who?
You got to put him on Hunter. You got to put him on Hunter, at least to start. Because here's the strategy, right? If they go into matchup hunting, that's going to disrupt their offense. I don't really fear DeAndre Hunter in the mid-range game or in the post game. He got it. But if you're gonna allow him to beat you by beating you beyond be in front of the 3-point line, that's the way you disrupt. Ironically enough, there's been games where the Knicks have lost this season because they've matched up hunted too much. Because it's like, it's like how the smart kid in school, it's like you're so smart, you're stupid at times because you don't just execute on your intelligence.
Yes.
You just start experimenting.
Yes.
Like, yo, what if I could do that? It's like I need to, it's the big brain theory, right? Where I got to show everybody my brain is so big because I'm thinking in 3D, 5D chess. And they just continue to hunt. Like, yo, we got this matchup. We're going to make this work. Then you turn around and it's like, yo, just play offense. Just play your offense. At worst, you just play your offense. You got a chance. That's the strategy that I think they're trying to employ. The other side of it, and I know they can do the little things like off-ball screens, get Brunson into pick and roll action, do all those type of things in order to take advantage. But that type of stuff is happening already. I'm of the mindset that at some point in this season, Brunson and Cat are going to have to stand on their square and D up. Like, if it's situational, whatever, they're going to have to do it. So in your example, I'm just wondering, I don't know if you're going to put Cat on Mobley if you start Mitch.
Yes.
I put it to you like this. Yes. I could see lineups where that goes down. I don't know if they start off with it. I don't know if they start with it. Just in your estimation. I do think that is going to be a lineup.
You're going to have to. Yeah, you're going to have to experiment.
Yep.
Because obviously, if Cleveland goes the way you go, yes, you're going to have the front court, Evan Mobley, Allen, and Hunter. That's a big front court. And yes, we spoke about it. You mentioned it before. There were times where it would be the main event would be Garland versus Brunson. The thought process back in the day would be like 48 minutes of Garland versus Brunson. They're not switching. They're going at each other. Let them just go. But that's okay. We're not playing in those days. Let's just go. Let's just go with what we think is going to happen. And yes, Kenny Atkinson, brilliant coach. Because he obviously turned his Cleveland Cavaliers team. The first year he got there, said, all right, Evan, stop shooting threes. Drive turkey. Get yourself down in the post and play like a big man that you are. All right, Donovan, do your thing. Garland, do your thing. Allen, do your thing on defense. Let's go. I foresee Kenny Atkinson say, all right, timeout. DeAndre, who's guarding you? Okay, wait. They got Brunson on you. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Now, mind you, say sometimes it's a balance. Hunting, running offense. Hunting, running offense. If they hunt Brunson for 3 possessions and Hunter scores for 3 possessions, Cleveland's not stopping. Cleveland's gonna Cleveland's going to keep doing that.
Right.
Thus, now it's up to Tibbs to understand what are you going to do? Because God bless, you can't have Brunson in foul trouble.
That's also true. And that's why they get paid the big bucks. They can figure it out. Like, at some point, you think about that lineup, at some point there's going to be an advantage creation by the Cavs. It's just what it is. So how they deal with it. And then the Boston of it all, I mean, Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Holiday, KP, and Derek White. Ain't no space for Mitch, bro. Not in that starting lineup. Not in that. You can't.
Say the starting
Who
lineup
is he
again.
guarding?
Say it again. Say the starting. Wait,
Derek White, Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis.
Tatum, Brown. Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Who is Mitch guarding?
They got Tatum at the 4.
Okay, right? So then you're gonna have Cat on Tatum, or you're gonna have Cat on Brown.
Boston. Now, see, this is what I would do if I was Tibbs. Great example. This is what I would do as I was Tibbs. If it's Boston, you have to start Cat at the 5 to match up with Porzingis. Yep. Go small just like them. So the original starting 5, the original Jalen, Hart, OG, Mikal, Cat. That's what you do against Boston.
For sure.
That's what you do against Boston. And then if they happen to bring Cornette in to play big, then you bring in Mitchell.
Yep.
Then you bring in Mitchell. That's how you're gonna. That's what's gonna have to happen. Now, in terms of matchups, it's gonna be very interesting because Jason Tatum and Brown, minus Derek White, minus Holiday, they're a problem to solve, really. Now, if I'm Tibbs, I'm saying, okay, OG, you have Tatum, Mikal, you have Brown, okay, fight.
Yep.
Fights.
Yep.
Fight.
That's it.
God bless. For me, anyway. For me, Denny Blanco, the NBA Whisperer from It's in the Game podcast. This is my opinion. I think Brown is a better player than Tatum. Me. Because he mixes it up. He goes inside and outside. Sometimes Jason can fall in love with that 3. Okay. So OG, if OG has that girth to keep him out that paint, Tatum will fall in love with that jump shot. He'll fall, which is fine. Stay out there. You're not drawing fouls. You're not getting us into foul trouble. Stay out there. Cool, no problem. That's great defense. Shout out to OG. That's great defense. Shout out to Mikal Bridges. Jalen Brown's going to be Jaylen Brown. It's going to be a problem because he's going to be bigger than you, and he's going to possibly go into the post to try and do you dirty. So those 2 matchups are specific key defensively. Offensively, you guys are going to be fine. You have Cat. You have Brunson, pick and roll to death, and then go from there. Yeah. Offensively, you guys are fine. Defensively is where it's going to be interesting.
And they have a big matchup ahead of them on Saturday tomorrow, or Saturday whenever you're watching this podcast. They're facing off against the Boston Celtics in Madison Square Garden. The first time seeing them since that opening night massacre. And, unfortunately, I don't think OG's going to be there, but it doesn't matter. I just watched the Dallas Mavericks go to town on the Celtics last night.
What was the end score of that? Wow.
A lot to a little. A whole lot to a whole little. That's what it was.
And here I am having 127 to 120. I believe Clay had like 30 in the first half.
Yeah.
God
and
bless.
It wasn't even that close because the reserves came in back with like 8 minutes to go, and they were doing it for Little Saint, bro. Like they was going off. They was going off. And they brought it down low key. It was like 11-10. They might have even got down to single digits towards the end, like towards when it was still in dispute. The game was still in the balance. But yeah, it's interesting. I do think, funny enough, that Cavs move was brilliant because I would have loved to see the Knicks be able to pull it off. And let me get my guy Jay Rose.
I don't think Atlanta wanted anything from the Knicks, possibly.
Right. So J Rose 712, thank you for your comment, bro. He says, was it possible for us to get Hunter? I just gotta know, was it possible? And what I'll say here, bro, is it was possible, but it wasn't probable. Because remember, we are now operating under the Doncic window. Anything is possible through Nico Harrison, who strengthens me. Anything is possible. But is it probable? We might be going into the anything is probable, but there are certain restrictions that make it improbable. So right now, Hunter is on a $21 million. He's making 21.7 right now, roughly. So if you were to have traded for Hunter, you most certainly would have had to get Mitch out of here.
Right.
You would have had to trade
Precious
at
Mitch.
least two or three pieces.
Easy.
And probably would have had to throw in some seconds in order to complete the deal. Which
No, Jeff. No, you're wrong.
What?
You're wrong. See, and correct me, please, because I've been seeing some deals. Okay. The Luka deal was for what? AD, Max Christie, and a pick.
Right. I'm just talking in terms of. I don't mean to cut you up, bro. I'm just talking about in terms of viability through the cap. Like I'm not. Shout out to Jeremy Cohen. I'm not a capologist. Like that's the cap man. That's cap man, right? And that's good cap. That's not bad cap. That's good cap. Yeah. You know, salary cap man. Shout out to Jeremy Cohen. Y'all should be tapping into Cream. Cap rules everything around me, and cap or no cap when he does it because he is a savant when it comes to these numbers. Like I'm good at math. He's great at mathematics. Bro, like that man breaks it down. So what I'm saying is they would need, because they're a first apron team, they can't take more in than they send out.
There you go.
That's first off. So since they're over that apron, so they can't just absorb them. It's not the old days. The thing about the old days was it's the old days, right? Ain't the old days no more. You can't just absorb money just because you got it like that. So that's first off. Secondly, when I'm looking at you need matching salary, right? Where is he at? Mitch is making 14 this year. So now you need another what? 8? You need another 8, right? So let's say you said, okay, we're gonna send you Mitch, Precious Achiuwa. Right now you're at 23, and shoot, I guess DeLon Wright on the minimum. That can make up that can, if they wanted him. If you said a very intelligent point, Denny. If they wanted that, right? Now, if I'm Atlanta, I'm like, all right, y'all gotta send us Mitch to match salary. Heard you. Where's Miles McBride at? Easy, quick, straight up. Where's Miles McBride at? That's it. Don't talk to me about no Precious Achiuwa. Where's Miles McBride at? Because we want to we giving you a wing. We at least want a guard or someone who could play that wing back. So where's Miles McBride? Where's Mitchell Robinson? And then even then, maybe shoot, what would that be? That'd be 18. Probably have another player. Send me Pacome Dadier. We'll take a flyer on him. He's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". We'll take a flyer on him, and then you'd still. I don't know how the picks work when it comes to matching up with the salary, but I'm just saying that to say it would have took more than what the Knicks were willing to give up to get DeAndre Hunter. Now, if Hunter's contract was like 15, and you're talking about that's the move that you make, and you say, hey, we got Cat, we're going to roll with Precious and Hukporti and see what happens. Listen, you guys, then we have to understand too also. Thank you, J. Rose. These are business deals. Yep. These are business deals. And sometimes we try to make it much more harder than they actually are. Your brains are going all over the place. Keep it simple. You're either going to have a business deal with someone has a valuable diamond or someone has a diamond in the rough. And either on the other side, you have to make a decision. Do I want that diamond? And how much am I going to give up for that diamond? Or do I want that diamond in the rough? And how long am I going to wait before that diamond in the rough actually shines and gives us something? These are all what these deals are. And quite frankly, the Knicks looked around.
saw all their diamonds currently on their team. They got a shiny Cat. They got a shiny Jalen Brunson, 2 All-Stars. Okay. You got OG. You got Mikal. You're looking around like Josh. You're looking around like, who's available? And then, well, what do we have to give up? More than likely Deuce. First, more than likely Deuce. You're going to be like, nah, that's not going to work. That's not
100%.
So, yeah. So that's why the Knicks, looking around, made the great business decision not to give up more than they got back. Now, can I say that about the other teams in the NBA? No.
Exactly.
There's some teams that literally was like, you know what? Let's clear the deck. Let's just clear the deck. We have to reset. We have no more diamonds. We have no more diamonds to look at. We have nothing but just dirt. Let's just start again, and hopefully we can go into the future. The Knicks' future, however, looks bright.
Yeah.
It looks super bright. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, literally underpaid. Jalen Brunson, number 1. Number 2, your all-star. He may be all NBA. First or second team all NBA, but before it's all said and done. Same thing with Cat. This is an exciting time for you Knicks fans. I am excited for you. You guys are looking at April, May, and June a little differently.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Casual Friday Live, Denny Blanco, Jeff J, and you. One of the reasons why they didn't really have to make a deal like that, Denny, is because Mitchell Robinson's coming back. And I think the fact that the team held firm is a major vote of confidence to Mitch. At the worst. I would say at best, it's a major vote of confidence. At worst, it's, well, shit, he ain't play the whole season. We're not gonna get maximum value, so we might as well roll the dice. It's a dice roll. It's a gamble either way. So if we're gonna be damned, we might as well be damned with the possibility of getting the Mitchell Robinson back at peak powers just in time for the playoffs, which at this point for their needs was the best acquisition they could get. Is, hey, Mitch, heal up your foot. And we've seen the reports. Shout out to Ian Begley. We've heard the reports that he's running, he's doing the contact drills. So after the All-Star break, it could be Mitch time. So I think that's something worth monitoring. And I think after, I'd say, well, I'll ask you this, Denny. After the moves, well, first, non-Doncic edition, what was the most intriguing move to you of the NBA trade deadline?
Great question. Not Luka. The Jimmy Butler situation had me just looking at everyone like, what is going on? Let me just land this. Let me just paint the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look back at the history of people forcing their way out of teams, you have Anthony Davis leaving New Orleans Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
You have James Harden fighting his way to leave the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have Jimmy Butler. Okay. Now, somebody told me this once in the blue. The squeaky wheel always gets the grease. Somebody told me that back in the day. I was like, what you mean? That the squeaky wheel always gets the grease. Your man, whether you believe the reports or not, whether it's he didn't take the right plane, he didn't want to take his private plane, he's aloof, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Your man got what he wanted. An exit out of where he didn't want to be. And then got paid more money. Okay? Now, mind you, somebody will listen to this and be like, well, maybe Jimmy didn't get what he wanted. He wanted to go to Phoenix. Which, again, brings me back to the middle of the point because it starts with Jimmy and it trickles down. Mm-hmm. So I'm swinging back to looking at Phoenix, and I'm looking at Phoenix, and I'm like, if Bradley Beal says yes to a trade, what does that team look like? Because Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. So Bradley was like, yeah, Bradley, we want to. Nope. Don't even come over here. Nope. My family's now in Phoenix. I left Washington. I'm in Phoenix now. Don't even talk to me. So that ship sailed. So Phoenix is sitting around like, well, we have to do something because this team as constructed, it's not moving. It's not moving.
Right.
You, Phoenix Suns, you're looking at KD. Got a phone call. It's a phone call being made from Golden State to KD, allegedly, if you believe the rumors. And I'm sitting back and I'm doing the breakdown with Denny Blanco on TikTok now. And I'm sitting back and I'm looking back and I said, wait, hold on. Is Golden State really trying to reach out to Kevin Durant, knowing NBA whisperer Denny Blanco? This is what I am hearing in my head. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But you mean to tell me that Kevin Durant ran from Draymond Green, not Golden State, ran from Draymond Green, and now is going to run back to Golden State to see Draymond Green again? 24 hours, Kevin Durant said, hell no. I'm not going back to Golden State. You see who's over there? I'm not going back to him. Now, I know Steph was like, damn, I guess I'm going to be by myself. And this is all because of Jimmy Butler wanting out of Miami and saying, I want to go to Phoenix. Okay? Golden State's been calling everyone for veterans. Everyone. Like, come over. Come. Steph is by himself. He has no one. Please come. Everybody's looking around like, Wiggins got sent to Miami. So they're like, okay, here comes Jimmy Butler to fill in for Wiggins. Is that an improvement? Yes, it is. Does that help him win a championship? I don't know. But that in itself, the Luka thing is way easier to explain, for me anyway, than the Jimmy Butler situation. Jimmy Butler has so many moving pieces and parts. But the Luka part, the Luka trade, I was like, oh, that's easy. That's simple. Y'all guys are making it too hard on yourselves. Business decision. I'm not paying him $345 million. Don't make it any hard. Don't fall into the, oh, Luka's lazy. Oh, Luka's 300 pounds. Don't fall into that.
Right.
Don't fall into that. Just understand that Jason Kidd took a Dirk Nowitzki and beat a Miami team with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. Jason Kidd, I think, would know what a championship pedigree would be. If it's the residual, is it on you? Is it on you? Right?
Right.
He would know. Jason Kidd would know. And Jason Kidd said, yeah, I wouldn't pay that guy right there, a supermax. No, because he may hold us hostage like Jimmy Butler. See how it comes back to Jimmy Butler? See how it comes back to Jimmy Butler? You see?
But that irresistible force met the immovable object that is Pat Riley.
Also, too, I was thinking about that too as well, Pat Riley as well. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do you realize that Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal played on the same team at one point? And at that time, Shaquille O'Neal was literally the most dominant big man in the league, literally, at the time. Right before he went to Miami, there was a business decision, guys. Guess what? The Lakers had to choose between Shaq, and this is after 3 rings. You talking about, oh, Luka took him to the finals. So, did he win? Shaq had 3 rings sitting in his coffin.
Right.
And they literally was like, yo, either pick Shaq or Kobe. And they picked Kobe. Did it work out for them?
And Shaq forced his way out. That's the only difference. If he didn't force his way out, they wouldn't have made that trade. Kobe, if he didn't make it, you got to choose one. This is no longer viable. And if that's a good choice to make, because you'll be good in either direction that you go. If you choose Shaq or if you choose Kobe, the Lakers chose not Luka. I mean, the Mavs chose to get rid of Luka and get AD as opposed to keeping him, which is still, if it's a business decision, you got to stand on that decision. If you feel as if he's not going to give you the possible chance to win in the future, okay, I can respect that. Just know your future is 3 years.
Within 3 years, Jeff.
Your future is 3 years.
Jeff, if we surveyed Dallas fans, if we surveyed Dallas fans and we asked them the big $1 million question, within 3 years you win a chip, is it worth trading away Luka? What would be the answer?
Honestly, go ask them fans. A lot of them ain't going to say yes. Because they love Luka. Yo, bro, they talking about being unsure about the response that's going to happen in the American Airlines Center when the Mavs play their next home game, because they don't know what to expect because the fans are pissed. The
Oh, well,
fans are pissed.
They're not going to boo.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. One, say what you want about Luka. I love the quote from Dorian Finney-Smith. If Luka could do all of that at 270, maybe I need to be 270. Maybe I need to gain some weight. Because what's going on here? That's first off. Secondly, Luka's 25, 80's 31. I think he's turning 32 this year. So you traded away your future. You traded away a top 5, top 10 caliber player. I'd even say top 7 if you however you want to do it. Top 7 caliber player that would remain top 7 barring injury or whatever for the next 5 years. You traded that away for a chance to win for a chance, in your opinion, to win a title with a better fit team in the next 3 years. And of all places to send this motherfucker, you send him to LA, which starts the decade-long tradition of bailing out a legacy franchise. Every decade, somehow, some way, they get away with it. They get away with it.
If AD was in Utah, they'd go to Utah. If AD was in New Orleans, they'd go to New Orleans. They wanted AD.
Which is also nuts because they didn't open up the
another conversation for a different day.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, you know, it's
yeah. So,
but I will say, I can't respect somebody who pulls up in the store and says, "Yo, I don't need the marketing tips. I want that car." Like when I caught my car years ago, I knew the exact car I wanted. We didn't have to talk. Give me the price. I'll let you know if I'm good with it, and we're gonna move on. So I can respect that. I would just say for their sake, for the front office sake, it better pay off. But I don't know if sending Luka to go play with LeBron for right now, LeBron ain't leaving until he's 43, bro. He ain't leaving. At this point, he gonna play out the rest of his contract and maybe run back one more year.
Yeah.
Maybe run back one more year. See if they could get Bryce on the squad. You know what I mean? Like at this point, but shoot, quietly, Bryce might be too. If they get him, it might be because they had a bad season and they have to take, because Bryce might be one of them ones. But look, let's go back to the East. Let's bring it back Knicks perspective. After everything that happened in the trade deadline, how do you see the Knicks in relation to the rest of the East?
Oh, again, I think they don't. Looking at the standings, your guys are only dealing with 2 teams. The Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't foresee them losing games, obviously games that they can possibly win. I'm talking about the Cavs and the Celtics. So I expect that the top 5 to stay. That, you know what? I'm lying. I don't expect the Bucks to keep losing. I expect the Bucks to go on a little run with Kyle Kuzma as they learn. So they're 5th. So possibly they they overtake the Pacers. But the Heat, the Pistons, the Magic, Hawks, yeah, they're going to stay around that same window, whatever happens down there. God bless. Obviously, Embiid got the bad knee. So the Knicks, they literally right now going forward should strategize how they're either going to beat the Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've already discussed some of the strategies that we could possibly
right
throw out there, the lineups. But right now, as the Knicks is constructed, you're talking about 2 games back behind the Celtics, 34-17. You guys are 8-2 in the last 10 games, 16-8 away, 18-9 at home. I'm confident that you guys are going to be able to at least the playoffs started today. Well, then again, Randy J. Cruz is telling me about how the new format 10-9-8 is done. So he's like, yeah, no, the seeding is not the seeding. But
what do you mean?
So, for example, if I wanted to right now, if it was 1 through 8, if it was seeded right now 1 through 8 in the East, it would look like, so Cavaliers would play Magic. Celtics. Oh,
you talking about because of the play-in?
Yeah, because of the. Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Because of the play-in.
You don't know who's going to be 7th and 8th, really, realistically.
Right. So the Knicks being 3rd, I think they plays 1, 8, 2, 2, 7, 3, 6. So that would be the Heat in the 6th range, or Bucks or Pacers. They're going to rotate somewhere, and that'll be your first round matchup, and then you go from there. But with Also, too, Mitchell Robinson coming back. That's considered a trade. When you don't have a piece for the first half of the season, then you get it the second half. Kind of like how Chet Holmgren is coming back for the OKC Thunder. God bless. It's Mitchell Robinson coming in and having that coming in from health and just working his way into shape come April, May, June. That's going to be big for you guys. But yeah, you're solidified at number 3. I don't see you guys jumping to 2 or 1 because the Cavs and the Celtics, they're going to continue to be good. That's just the bottom line.
I hear that. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think it's Cleveland, Boston, and the Knicks. And that 1 and 2 spot could be depending on how you feel in a particular day. I do think looking at the upside of that DeAndre Hunter trade, they basically got a taller, younger, more consistent version, a high, same type of efficiency output with higher volume in DeAndre Hunter. He isn't moving the world defensively or anything like that, but in this type of league, the guys with the tallest guys are giving people problems. That's why the Mavs was able to go crazy on the Celtics. All they got is a bunch of 6'9" and up dudes, athletic, can run, can jump, can shoot. So you know, to that point, you add AD to the mix and you got something cooking. You got a few items stirring in the pot. So I won't take that away from them. I'm very intrigued to see how they turn around. But yeah, you look at the standings now. The Knicks have the 5th best record in the league, 5th best record, 3rd best in the East. You said it before, 18-9 at home, 16-8 on the road. So they're all massively over 500, both at home and on the road. You'd love to see a little bit more stability at home. You want to make that advantage an actual advantage, but I love the fact that they're going on the road and making it happen. When you look at the league, offensively, they're still, per cleaning the glass, offensively, they still have the 2nd best offensive rating to Cleveland. And defensively, they're 11th. So we're talking about getting them into the top 10 in offense and defense. Like they still hover around top 3 in offensive rating. You get them into the top 10 of defensive rating. Now you're really talking about something. Because I think they just need at best an average defense. Like if they turn up the way they've been turning up the last couple of games, watch out. Because you got a team that could drop 130 calmly on your head and can hold you to 100. It's going to be some problems. It's going to be some consequences and repercussions for the league. You feel me? So I like where they are. I like where they're headed. They got the big game on Saturday against the Boston Celtics. And then let me pull up their schedule real quick before the break. You think Celtics, Pacers, and Hawks. Pacers and Hawks on a back-to-back. And after that Hawks game, going right into the break. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say Boston Celtics just lost to Dallas. So now they're coming in wanting to get a win. And obviously they're coming into MSG. So, it's really interesting. Folks don't come to MSG to get embarrassed. They don't come to MSG to get embarrassed. They come, it's the Rucker. These guys coming in there and they're giving 1,070% because they don't want to be on that Jumbotron Hot 97 screen, which is it is what it is.
And I fully expect Drew Holiday to play because he sat out against the Mavs. MSG has amazing restorative properties for athletes. You walk into MSG and all of a sudden, I'm telling you, it's like your healing factor improves by 1,000%. You walk in with a bum shoulder, all of a sudden, it's like you got a good massage. It's good. Your knee acting up. It start feeling like you was in your teens again. Like everything, you just feel rejuvenated whenever, especially if you are an opposing player. You literally have to be incapacitated to miss the game or have some type of long-term season injury. I remember even when I was a kid rooting for the Knicks, I lost count at how many times a player who's been nursing an injury all of a sudden was questionable, then probable for the game. or they're making their season debut at Madison Square Garden. They know what time it is. It's hilarious. But, this is heavy as the head that wears the crowd when you play in the world's most famous arena. That's why the Knicks got to make it uncomfortable for every team that comes in there. Like, yo, don't expect the highlight. Don't expect to put on a highlight reel. Like, you're going to have to earn that. Straight up. You're going to have to earn that. And I like that mentality. And hopefully they'll be able to keep it. So they have Boston on Saturday, Indy on Monday, Hawks on Tuesday. Hawks is interesting. I don't even know what the Hawks are after this trade deadline.
The Hawks trust the process. Trust the process.
No Bogey, no DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson done for the season.
You're not trusting the process?
Yeah. It might be flag dragging.
Clean the deck. All we have is Trey. Clean the deck. Let's start again. We don't want to pay DeAndre. Get rid of Bogey. Shout out to them. They're going to be. I think Bogey going to the Clippers is going to be great for him. He's going to get some time there. DeAndre's obviously maybe a starter. But once again, it's Atlanta Bulls as well as Bulls. Everybody below except the Magic. Everybody below the Magic is in trouble, in my opinion, in terms of future. But everybody above them, well, except the Raptors, Hornets, their future looks bright. The Wizards, of course, they're the Wizards. They're the Wizards.
So these guys, the Hawks, their first round pick, they have a Lakers first round pick through the Pelicans. They have Sacramento's first, but their Sacramento's pick is top 12 protected. And they have an Atlanta pick. They have a pick via the Pelicans, and then their original first round pick is through the Spurs.
And here's my question about the Spurs.
That's the DeJounte Murray trade.
And this is the point about the Spurs, because I think I was speaking to John. I think to Randy J. Cruz, and I think I read this somewhere. I think if the Hawks don't have a certain, if they finish a certain way, I think it's playoffs or a certain amount of wins. The San Antonio Spurs, because of that Murray trade, gets a top 10, top 5 pick, something to that effect. Something to that effect where they were saying they possibly could get Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, so that's why these moves, I'm kind of like, what? Because they for all intents and purposes, they gotta make the playoffs so that they don't lose out on it. But yeah, I do think going forward, this matchup on Saturday, the way they finish going into the break is going to be important. I don't expect to see OG until after the All-Star break. It doesn't make sense. Rest up, take your 2-3 weeks, and then come back strong. Because of the way the injury fell, it's almost like, if you're going to have like a month type injury, this was the best place to have it. This is the best this is the best timing to have it.
Yeah, you get some time off for sure.
So yeah, I'd expect them. I expect them at the very least to go 2-1. They got to get that win in Indiana. They got to get that win in at home against the Hawks. Because of the play-in tournament. I mean, because of the NBA Cup, they've been playing the Hawks. It feels like every couple of weeks. Yeah. But so I think they definitely gotta get those two, and they gotta and get Boston and sweep this out and finish the first half plus of the season strong.
Yeah, they're gonna finish the first half. Whether 3 winnable games, obviously Boston's gonna be the one.
For sure,
cause a concern. But other than that, 3 winnable games. Obviously, your 2 guys will not have any rest. They're going to be at the All-Star game, and it's going to be interesting to see what that All-Star game looks like. I was looking at obviously it's going to be changing. Format. They're changing format, but I saw the draft, and I saw a couple of these teams, and I said, Did you happen to see the draft and the teams? And
I saw the draft, and my first thought was, these are the exact people I do not want to play fantasy football with, because they'll pick the quarterback first and then tank the whole rest of the draft. Now we get into a point where the 10th person, whoever the person is, the last pick of the draft that gets to flip, all of a sudden it gets 2 fire starters because people was picking crazy in the beginning of the draft. Shaq Shaq has the Team USA. Kenny has the Young Avengers, and Chuck has the world.
The world,
literally the world. I just don't like. I get what Kenny was trying to do. Like he said, I'm gonna pick the young guns. I'm gonna pick the hungry players. Blah blah blah. He'll look like a genius if they win. But that was just. I was looking at some of the players, and I was just like, bro, what is happening right now? But I will say, my opinion on the All-Star format has remained. If it works, I'm with it. I do not think they needed to gimmick it up like this in order to draw attention. This is just to switch up to see, hey, all right, we're going to change this format. Are y'all going to play? That's really what it is. Are y'all going to play if we switch up this format? And if they don't, then I'd rather them just go back to what it was if y'all are going to have this game to begin with. And the other thing I don't like is this is the first time in 50 years that two Knicks are starting the All-Star team or All-Star game, and they don't even get to start together because they got drafted to different teams. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Entertainment value. Telling Randy J. Cruz, I said, you play pickup ball. You play pickup basketball. You can tell who's there to actually get a workout in and who's there just because, they want to run away from their home.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to play. I just want to just get away from something. And those guys usually get run off the court because they're being embarrassed. If you want to have a team of LeBron, Curry, KD, and you want to just loaf, i.e. the young guns, you think the young guns are going to see that team on the other side and be like, yeah, look around. They're going to look around. They're going to look at the front row. They're going to see, is that Denzel? Who is that? Is that J-Lo, Beyonce? I'm seeing a lot of stars. I'm okay, well, maybe I don't want to be embarrassed if I'm playing against LeBron. Maybe I will get in a defensive stance. Maybe. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. It possibly will be the, maybe a version of the dream team getting cracked by the college players. Possibly. But we all wanted to see that damn tape, whoever has it. And we may see it this All-Star game. We may see these young boys take on 55-year-old LeBron James and make him work. We may. Never know.
May. All right, let's get to some comments before we get out of here, Denny. All right, first off, Nora. Thank you, Nora. You think they'll keep the same lineup but throw in rotation lineups with Cat and a traditional big? We spoke about this earlier, Nora, but yeah, for sure. I do think once Mitch comes back, you're going to see different matchups. And you watch how Huck Porty is playing with Cat. That's going to give you the blueprint on what they're going to do with their rotations. I think they're going to have I could see OG McHale, Mitch, Deuce, and whoever you needed the five, whether it's whoever needed the 4 or the 2 or the 1, wherever. Precious. I could even see Hart in there. Like that, they'll have like a with Mitch back, they'll be able to put on a defensive line. One of those lineups where when it's closing, like they have a 3-point lead or a 4-point lead or a 2-point lead at the end of the game, and they're able to get subs. Though one of those lineups, yeah. Or if they're just trying to play prevent defense and hold the line, I can see that too.
Yeah, Brunson at the 1, Hart at the 2, OG at the 3, Cat at the 4. Obviously, if you put Cat at the 5, you put OG at the 4 and just lock up defensively. Yeah, I've seen Brunson and Deuce end the game depending on the lineup. So
yeah, for sure.
It all depends on the defensive lineup and how the game's flowing. It all depends.
100%. Thank you, Nora. Dirty Dancer, always in the chat. Thank you so much. You don't have to play the death lineup 35 minutes a game. Good to have different lineup styles to switch to. Couldn't agree more. And that versatility is something that's been missing from the Knicks for a majority of the season. They get Mitch back. They figure out what they're going to do with that 15th roster spot, whether it's do they sign TJ Warren? Do they go into the buyout market? And remember, there's restrictions because they're over that first apron. There's restrictions on who they could sign in the buyout market. So for the two of you who are thinking maybe Ben Simmons, nah. That ain't happening. that would probably never happen. And it couldn't happen because he's making like 30, 40 million. So that isn't going to happen. So anybody who's making more than like 12, I think they're not able to sign on the buyout market. So we're going to see what they do with filling out the roster, but I think it's imperative to get Mitch back so that they can finally see what their whole squad is looking like.
Jeff, business decision. I'm not going to name the player. I'll just business decision. You're a GM.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody calls you. I have a player who has missed out of 257 games, 207. Do you want him on your roster?
Nah. Unless you the Lakers and you talk about Mark Williams. You know what I'm saying? I know he's had a history, but
207. 257 possible games. He missed 207, meaning he only played 57 games in a 5-year span.
22% of them games.
5-year span. Would you want that on your roster?
No, sir. No, sir. That's why I gave that. And two was being pie in the sky. Nice. That was the high end. I don't know if any Knicks fans were real talk. I don't know. Cam Johnson. Now you talking? Ben Simmons.
Free Cam Johnson.
I mean, I think so.
Johnson. I thought he was going to be let go into the wild. It's unfortunate that Cam is stuck up in Brooklyn. God bless. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, they line you up with some players. But
yeah, the Nets got Cam in the Brooklyn basement. He ain't getting out of there. He ain't getting out of there. He's part of the future, whether he want to be or not, bro. He part of the future, whether he want to be or not. Denny, my brother, this was awesome. This was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on Casual Friday. Yo, tell the people where they can find you.
You know, 5, baby. Sir Denny Blanco, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Sir, S-I-R, Denny with a D. Denny, D-E-N-N-Y, Blanco. All right. Holla at your boy. It's in the Game podcast. Randy J. Cruz. We doing this work. Obviously, I have videos called The Breakdown with Denny Blanco as I break down these highlights. I may have a video of 55-year-old LeBron James later on giving the work to, again, to close out. I'm just like, yo, is LeBron that good? Or is the league that bad?
I lean on the former, bro, because I've seen a lot of impossible feats, and this man is making the impossible possible. Like he just keeps going. It ain't for a lack of trying. It ain't for a lack of trying.
I'm just trying to understand what y'all guys in the NBA. Like there was a time where people got mad. It's like, no. We need to take out that guy. We need to take out that guy. Y'all not getting mad at LeBron. Y'all not getting mad enough at LeBron for my taste. But
he ain't even playing unk ball with them. He playing LeBron game. He ain't even playing unk ball with them.
No threes, fadeaway jump shots, posts on the wing dunks. You want it? You got it.
He giving
you want
it.
You got it.
He giving them to him.
55-year-old LeBron James. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on, Jeff. I will be back if you will have me.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
Who you got in the Super Bowl, bro?
Oh, I want the Eagles to win. The Dirty Birds. Obviously they're the cousins to New York. That's 1. 2 is I want Saquon. A petty son of a bitch. I want Saquon to be able to walk New York streets with a big ass ring. Being able to just walk around with this big ass ring in New York City and have everyone just upset. That's what I want. Sidebar, I don't want the 3-peat. Don't want it. Don't want. I'm a hater. Don't want the 3-peat. Shout out to Pat Riley. He's going to get paid regardless because 3-peat is a copy written by him. So he's going to get paid regardless. But I don't want them to win. I want the Eagles to win. Mind you, just a rematch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Rematch. Yep. So I want the Eagles to win. Shout out to Saquon, Jalen Hurts, all the boys. But Saquon, get that ring and stick it to those New York fans. Holy Jesus. Yeah.
Hey, all I will say is this. I haven't seen a power that's been able to dethrone whatever type of Obia or voodoo the Chiefs have got going for them this season. You want to talk about the Horcrux. You want to talk about the Darkhold. You want to talk about the Masters of the Dark Arts. I don't know what type of Pet Cemetery action they got at Arrowhead. Arrowhead might be the Hellmouth because, boy, you go into that stadium, it's no wins. It doesn't matter what the situation is. They keep getting away with it. They are the Batman 66 of NFL teams. Adam West hasn't gotten out of more traps than the Kansas City Chiefs. They keep getting away with it. They've been getting away with it for like 90% of the season. And now you got them in the Super Bowl of all places, New Orleans, where that type of energy, all the mystic energy, that is like an epicenter of mystic energy. And you're putting the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Oh, man. The second line is coming for the Philadelphia Eagles, bro. The second line, cue up the trumpets, cue up the big umbrellas, wear your favorite skulls and suits, and walk on down Bourbon Street. Because until I can see demons exercise with my own two eyes, I do not believe the Kansas City Chiefs are losing that game.
Damn.
I don't. Bruh, they just know how to escape. And they know how to win. Mahomes is a madman. Andy Reid is in his final form. Steve Spagnuolo.
I think that Philadelphia Eagles defense is going to have something to say to Kelsey as well as Patrick Mahomes. I think their time has come, but quite frankly, it's going to be very entertaining.
Oh yeah, I love not having a dog in the fight. And I love it's going to be entertaining. My one ally are sports betting books right now. That's going to be my ally in this game. And trust me when I say, Denny, at some point, Spags is going to send me, you, and half of the city of New York in a blitz against Jalen Hurts when it counts.
Oh, no.
And it's going to be effective.
Book it.
Bro, that's all I'm saying. Yo, Denny, thank you so much for joining. Thank y'all for watching another edition of the Casual Friday podcast on Knicks Film School. Subscribe to the channel. I think we are still on the climb to 20K. Get us there one step closer. You already know all the Knicks fans in your life, all the NBA fans. Run it up. Send this link to everybody to show them the dope content that we create over here and have them join the community. We have a lot of fun over here, so definitely do that. Hit the likes. Get in the comments. We talk to you in there too. It's another edition of Friday. Big game tomorrow, Knicks Celtics. I want all y'all to enjoy the rest of the week, and you already know the vibes. Go Knicks.